This is the first in my series of Single After 50. And let's start off with a punch. It is ridiculous to assume that just because somebody is single and alone, that they are lonely. Despite movies and books depicting the forlorn and weak lass who is only happy and complete once she has a partner in her life, today's singles are quite self-sufficient and happy being single, leading fulfilling lives, and some of them even finally at this stage of their life, their best life. I don't know about you, but the line from Jerry Maguire, where Tom Cruise comes to Renee and says, "I love you," and then he says, "You complete me." I really, really just wish he had stopped at "I love you." It totally makes me cringe. I would rather rephrase it, "You bring so much incredible value to my life," or "I enjoy you so much in my life. My life is better because you are in it." But no, you do not complete me. I complete me. I go for coffee on my own. I go to the cinema on my own. I buy myself extravagant perfumes and flowers. I change the light bulb. I take care of me. I nurture me. I love me. I complete me. The stigma in society even today is quite alarming in regard to women not being good enough if they do not have a partner. Being single can be an immensely satisfying way of living. But what about intimacy, you may ask? Well, this is different for everyone. But for me, I have no real interest in it, unless I fancy someone or am in a relationship. So it is not really high on my agenda as a single. I spent my whole life listening to people say, "Oh, you are so beautiful. Why don't you have a boyfriend or a husband?" As if to say, well, you're pretty enough to catch a guy, so why don't you have one? Like, what is actually wrong with you? Well, let me sum it up. This little life of mine is flipping fantastic. And if someone is not bringing something incredible to it, then why change it? I'm totally open to love and finding a partner, but one that makes my life better. A perfect fit. Else why change this incredible life? I'm not willing to settle. And I think a lot of us, 50 and older, have very high standards. Having been through life's ups and downs and relationships' ups and downs, we know exactly what we want, what we don't want, and what we will allow in our lives. I am not saying that relationships or wanting a partner is bad. I'm just saying it is okay to choose to be single. I think people find it surprising that not everyone who chooses to be single is doing so because of past hurt and trauma. I was married previously, and my ex is one of my best friends today. I learned a lot from that relationship, but I do not carry any hurt from it. So for me personally, I am not choosing to be single because of any bad past experience. Many women these days are choosing not to be mothers, and that is okay, despite society shaming them as well. We are all different, and we should not be shamed for our personal choices. I think a lot of women today are just finding that it is not worth it. Dating is hard. Relationships take a lot of work. Rejection is hard. Rejecting others is even harder. Also, are we really seeking a relationship or just alleviating being alone? We spend our life chasing it, and we miss out on enjoying a perfectly wonderful life in the now. A lot of people in relationships are not happy because they have not first learned to be happy alone. The great thing about being 50 and older is that our children are more than likely grown up, and we no longer have that responsibility at home. Our time is freed up, so get out there, go and do that cooking class, that art class, that pottery class. Join that walking club, learn a new language, learn a new instrument, become a volunteer in something that you are passionate about. Write that book that you have always wanted to write. Go on a cruise or get on an aeroplane and go and see that country you have always wanted to go to. If you fill your life with new adventures, you will not find yourself being lonely. And we don't have to do any of these things alone. Do it with a best friend or a family member. I love the George Eliot quote, "It is never too late to become what you might have been, and now is the perfect time." I have always been happy on my own, and I think so many years of being on my own and being a single mom has definitely set me in my ways. I am selfish with my time, my energy, and my space. And the great thing about living single after 50, this enables you to be selfish with your time, your energy, and your space. And it is quite okay. I selfishly like coming home to my own space, not having to consider what someone else may want as a dinner meal, not having to cook if I don't feel like it, choosing what movie I want to watch. And I'm going to end this off with a punch again, because I would love to hear your comments below. A little bit of a controversial topic. But if I ever got married again, I am a huge advocate for sleeping separately, for so many reasons. I absolutely love to sleep alone. Animals are allowed. I just hate sleeping next to somebody. This is just a personal thing for me. Maybe it's the introvert that just needs her own space. I want to be able to get up 5 times at night if I need to go and wee, and know that I'm not disturbing anyone. I snore and don't want to feel bad about it, or know that I kept someone awake. I want to make my own space special and feminine without the thought of decorating for a man in my space. Intimacy. I say intimacy because this includes morning cuddles after coffee in bed, cuddles watching a movie. So intimacy in one bed and sleep in 2 beds. I am loving this little life, single and alone after 50, but not lonely. So embrace this life living single after 50, and don't ever let society or anyone tell you that it is not okay. Thank you so much for joining me for this little chat, which became quite vulnerable and quite raw, but I have been happy to share all these thoughts with you, and I really, really hope that some of them have resonated with you. And let me know, what are the things that you love being single after 50? And please subscribe. This is, as I said at the beginning, the first in this new series. So if you enjoyed this video, there will be more like it to follow.